All right, good evening. I'll bring this May 14th regular City Council meeting to order. If you could please rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Dixon. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Ms. Williams.
Mayor McPartlin.
Here.
Vice Mayor Jones.
Here.
Councilmember Dixon.
Here.
Councilmember Dodd is excused tonight, and Councilmember Nunn.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Council, any agenda modifications? No? All right, leads us up into proclamations. First one is for National Police Week. All right, first up, a proclamation for National Peace Officers, which is Memorial Day, May 15th, and National Police Week, which is May 11th through the 17th. Whereas in 1962, President Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and a calendar week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week, and whereas members of the City of Sebastian Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the city, and whereas it is important that all citizens understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their police department, which include safeguarding life and property, protecting citizens against violence and disorder, the innocent against deception, and the weak against oppression, and whereas the men and women of the City of Sebastian Police Department unceasingly provide a vital public service. Now, therefore, I, Bob McPartlin, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the City of Sebastian, do hereby call upon all residents to observe the week of May 11th through the 17th as National Police Week with appropriate ceremonies and observances, and further to observe May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice and service to their communities and or have become disabled in the performance of their duties.
The police department greatly appreciates. On behalf of the police department, I would just like to say thank you very much for the recognition. It means a lot to all of us. Thank you.
Proclamation for National Safe Voting Week, May 17th through the 23rd, whereas during National Safe Voting Week, the United States Coast Guard and the National Safe Voting Council, along with federal, state, and local safe voting partners, encourage all voters to explore and enjoy America's beautiful waters responsibly. And whereas on average 650 people... Want me to start over? 650 people die each year in boating-related accidents in the United States. 75% of these are fatalities caused by drowning, and whereas the vast majority of these accidents are caused by human error or poor judgment and not by the boat, equipment, or environmental factors, and whereas a significant number of boaters who lose their lives each year would be alive today had they worn their life jackets, carried life-saving emergency distress equipment, attended safe boating courses, participated in free boat safety checks, and remained sober when navigating. Now, therefore, I, Bob McFarland, on behalf of the Sebastian City Council, do hereby support the goals of the Safe Boating Campaign and proclaim May 17th through the 23rd as National Safe Boating Week and the start of the year-round effort to promote safe boating.
Mayor McFarland, Vice Mayor Jones, council members. It's an honor to kick off our 2025 Safe Boating Week with a proclamation here in Sebastian. In 1958, President Dwight Eisenhower signed the Federal Safe Boating Act into law. The National Safe Boating Council was formed. The United States Coast Guard Auxiliary plays a vital role in National Safe Boating Week, which is typically held from May 17th to the 23rd. We, the auxiliary, partner with the Coast Guard to promote safety and to educate the public. Boating safety classes and vessel safety checks are our primary goal. As the Mayor said, approximately 85% of persons who died from boating accidents were drowning victims without life jackets. That's our main function these days, is to make sure people are safe on the waters, and we look forward to bringing our unit back here to Sebastian in the very near future, and working closely with your Marine unit as well to promote boating safety here in Sebastian. And as you see, a lot of us have our life jackets here with us today. They're not all those big, cumbersome yellow things we're used to. They're comfortable when you're fishing, just swimming in the water, kayak, well, not kayak, you can't wear these kayaking, but there are some things we'll go over with that. We will be having a lot of safe boating classes here in Sebastian, one coming this Saturday if anybody's interested. And I'm going to turn this back over to the Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
I hope
much.
things go as well a little bit later in the meeting.
All right, very good. All right, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Oh, we got to take one picture before we go. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Finally, Lee, come on up. Final proclamation, National Public Works Week. Nobody ever thinks about these guys till they hit the pothole. These guys have been doing a fantastic job, especially this past couple of years, getting a lot of work done throughout the city. So National Public Works Week is May 18th through the 24th, whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities, and whereas this infrastructure and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for building, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of Sebastian to gain knowledge and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. Now, therefore, I, Bob McFarland, Mayor of the City of Sebastian, do hereby proclaim May 18th through the 24th as National Public Works Week and urge all citizens and civic organizations to recognize the substantial contributions they make in protecting our health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members. Thank you, City Manager, for your trust and your willingness to work with me and our team. I'm blessed to have a great team. Philip, Rob, David, we have a lot of experience here. Since I'm coming up on my year with the city here, I'm blessed to have a great team. Thank you all for everything this year. Philip, Rob, been a great asset, and David, thank you. You started shortly after I did, but thank you, everybody.
All right,
It's
thank
been a
you.
great year.
Great job. A little close, like we like it, Sheriff. All right, great job. Thanks, Paul. All right, take care. Thank you. All right. Pleasure. Thanks again, guys. All right, Mr. Vice Mayor Jones, you want to read the brief announcements?
Yes, sir, I will. This Saturday, May 17th, our Sebastian Police Department's cornhole tournament will be held at Captain Hiram's, and teams form at 10 a.m. at Captain Hiram's. Monday, May 26th, Memorial Day observance at Riverview Park at Veterans Memorial, and that will be at 11 a.m. Also, Monday, May 26th, City Hall will be closed in observance of Memorial Day. Friday, June 6th, City of Sebastian Summer Kickoff Concert at Riverview Park at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. featuring Hot Pink. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any other announcements? No, sir. All right. This leads us up to public input. Now's the time for anybody who wants to bring something to the council that's not on the agenda. Now's the time. Yes, sir. Come on up. You just say your name.
My name is Brent Wallenberg, and it's good to be here. And I'm just here to make people aware of what's going on in Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, and Tampa. 747s line up to go north every day, and that's been going on for decades. And they burn like 10,000 gallons, which is about 7,000 pounds. And that 7,000 pounds is converted to carbon monoxide. And when it hits water vapor, it makes carbonic acid. And the nutrient overload, I just talked to some ladies that asked what they was up to, and they're planting seagrass. And I said, well, I catch the muck all built up in a pocket, and I put a couple thousand pounds of high pH calcium carbonate sand in, neutralize the acid, and I got seagrass growing for miles, and I didn't plant anything. But comes to septic tanks. Septic tanks with fine calcium carbonate sand to make the chemical reaction happen don't make the cleanest water. It's the acid and the poop reacting with it. And a lot of the ones that are older ones, you can put the sand on top of the drain field and it'll wash down, and it allows the plants to absorb the nutrients, and you don't have nutrient runoff. And this is like I'd like to see statewide, instead of pushing for everyone to have the government's hand in their wallet, to use this money to invest in emerging technologies that are coming on fast and kind of make our state a little bit better place for everybody. Well, I'm just glad I'm here to talk. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Anyone else from the public wish to speak? Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Come up and talk. I wanted to start by saying that I was here before, and I brought up several things that were an issue in my area, and I wanted to thank you all because you did take down all the trees that were causing a lot of the crime in the tennis courts, and also you had the road paved on Schumann, which is much nicer than it was. My issue is still, and it's been that there's been a real problem with the traffic, with the four-way stop, and also drag racing on Schumann and Engler. I've had my mailbox taken down twice. There's been others that have also had their mailboxes taken down, and also street signs knocked down. And so I'm proposing a situation where maybe, as much as I myself wouldn't like it, and I'm sure a lot of people won't, but the only way to slow down the speeding there is probably maybe an occasional speed bump or a sign that indicates how fast people are going because it's way over the speed limit. The other thing that is, one of the other things that are a problem is that there's a lot of problems with the tennis courts still. And most of it is caused like between the hours of 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. I had a man and woman out there fighting. The woman was screaming, and I had to call the police because I wasn't sure if she was being beaten up or what. So anyway, they came and they said that people are in that park all night long and people fight. So I was like, okay. I don't think that was the answer I wanted to hear. And then 2 nights later, a man at 5 a.m. was screaming that he wanted to kill himself. And I had to call the police again because I don't know if it's real or not. But anyway, I don't know what the outcome of that was. But I really think that park needs to close at a certain hour. At 10 o'clock should be the limit. And right now there's a device there that turns on the lights in the tennis courts and everything. And people are using that for partying and everything. And so I just think if those lights were made so that they couldn't go on after 10 o'clock, if the park was closed at 10 o'clock, and maybe a gate against at the entrance that would shut like most parks do at dusk or 10 o'clock. But in the meantime, I don't know what anyone needs to be wandering around that park in the middle of the night for, and people screaming and yelling. So it's a big concern, and I don't feel like it's just people fighting in the middle of the park. I think when someone's screaming, they're in trouble. They're not just... So, and as far as the drag racing, I'm really concerned that, that this is going to be, like one day a car is going to go through one of the houses or something. And, it's just, there's been, when I say something about it, I've called and they can hear it on the phone when I call. I said, and the operator says, yes, I hear it. And then one time I called and they said, because they urged me to call when all this stuff happens. But one time I called and the police came and said that, no, not the police, I'm sorry, the operator said, what bothers you more, the noise or someone getting hurt? And I thought that was a strange response, but that's what was said. So anyway, I'm just asking for maybe some more consideration towards the tennis courts, and also as far, for the, they need to be monitored, but also the drag racing. And there's skid marks all over, Schumann, and like I said, they've had to replace the signs, and we have to replace our mailboxes. So, I don't know if like an occasional speed bump I think it would stop it, because these cars don't want. Yesterday, I made a right, I came up Schumann, the guy was on my bumper, and I just bought a new car, and I stopped for the stop sign, and he was really ticked off. I made a right-hand turn, and he followed right on my bumper, and I'm the first driveway. So he was about ready to hit me, and there's just, it's just not.
Okay.
Excuse me?
Time.
That's it.
And can I get your name for the record, ma'am?
Catherine Healy.
Catherine Healy, all right.
And, like I said, they've done some good things there, but these are still things that are really big. And I don't think people need to be in that park walking around and hanging out there all night long. It's not an hour for picnics or whatever,
Right.
It's just trouble. It's drugs, it's, whatever else. But I haven't had anything, like I said, for the the roads and everything I did appreciate,
All
but
right,
these
ma'am.
are still things that
Yes,
need to be
ma'am.
looked at, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure, Brian, we can look at enforcement up there. Right? Absolutely. Okay. Anyone else from the public? Anyone on Zoom?
No one has raised their hand at this time.
All right. Thank you. That closes public input. Leads us up to our consent agenda. Council?
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, Ms. Williams.
Vice Mayor Jones?
Yes.
Councilmember Dixon?
Yes.
Councilmember Nunn?
Yes.
And Mayor McPartlin?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, leads us up to item 9, committee reports and appointments. We have one on the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Yes, a reappointment of Ms. Battles.
I move that we keep her where she is.
Second.
Right. She has been doing an exceptional job, and she brings a good perspective to the planning and zoning meetings. All right.
Thank you.
No other nominations, so Ms. Battles, thank you for your continued service. Leads us up to public hearings. Item 10A, consideration of ordinance O-25-08, amending the Land Development Code, Article 5 zoning district regulations to incorporate a new zoning district known as mixed-use zoning district, and set date for second reading and public hearing on May 28th. Madam Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 02508, an ordinance of the City of Sebastian, Florida, amending Land Development Code Article 5 zoning districts regulations to incorporate a new section 54-2-5.16 to be known as mixed-use zoning district, providing for severability, repeal of laws in conflict herewith, providing for codification, scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
All right, thank you. Ms. Bernard, this is you.
Good evening. So what you have before you is a proposed new zoning classification known as mixed use. As you know, in 2021, we adopted our comprehensive plan for the 2040. Part of that plan was to incorporate a mixed use future land use, and it talks about all of the elements that go along with this. This is the final step in alignment with our comprehensive plan to incorporate our mixed use. With that, staff has been working diligently with Kimley Horn as our consultant on this for a little over a year now, and I have Anna Willis here from Kimley Horn, who will be making a presentation on what the proposed mixed use looks like. So with that, I'll turn it over to Anna.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Anna Willis, and I am a land planner at Kimley Horn. I guess you guys can see the PowerPoint in front of you. Awesome. Okay. So I'm here to discuss the 3 proposed new mixed-use zoning districts. We have the neighborhood mixed-use district, the community mixed-use district, and the regional mixed-use district. All 3 of these will allow for greater flexibility in with the changing market types as development comes, and allow for an option to create these types of uses. So I'll go through each of them one by one to kind of just discuss the differences in the 3, what each one would look like, and just go forward from there. So the neighborhood mixed-use district would be for any development between 5 and 50 acres. This one would be for your traditional town centers that features areas of just economic entertainment, community activities, and also really emphasize pedestrian accessibility. The district would be just intended to create vibrant areas for the people of Sebastian to come and enjoy. There are 38 permitted uses in the neighborhood mixed-use district. There are 7 residential, 12 commercial, and 19 industrial. And in the language that was included in the packet, it goes through what the uses are that we're proposing for this district. As you'll see in the table, that we break down the density, the maximum height, the coverage, open space, and parking requirements as well. The next one that we would be proposing would be the community mixed-use district, and this one allows for a mixture of residential and non-residential uses as well. The main difference between the neighborhood and the community mixed use would be the acreage, and then also the, I believe it's the building coverage. Density, maximum height, buffer, minimum open space, and parking are pretty consistent with what the neighborhood mixed use is being proposed as, and we also go up in the amount of permitted uses with the community mixed use. So this one would be for any acreage from 50 to 100 contiguous acres. And then the third one is the regional mixed use, which this one is the larger approach. So 100 contiguous acres would be the minimum, and this one would be for higher concentrations of employment, retail, and residential uses at higher densities. And we also included incentives for this mixed use district particularly. We break it down again into the residential, commercial, and industrial uses, 47 permitted uses with this one. You'll see the open space requirement and the maximum building coverage as well as maximum height and density are different from the first two. Because this one is larger, we worked alongside staff very closely with what this would look like and what would make sense for Sebastian. And ultimately, the proposed zoning districts come from wanting to be cohesive with the comprehensive plan, but there's also special considerations that come into play with these zoning districts. So we'll have lowering density and intensity, the potential for increased building setbacks, and adjusting step backs depending on the development. Requiring tiered buildings, adjusting on-site improvements to mitigate lighting, noise, and anything that should be needed to be adjusted to make it easier to use. And increased buffer types and elements of the buffer types as well. And here we broke down the comprehensive plan consistency. So you'll see there's 4 policies in the land use element of the comp plan where mixed use is noted, as well as 2 in the transportation and mobility element and 2 in the housing element. And then a visual representation of mixed use is in the pink on the map for the future land use map. That is currently the riverfront mixed use and potential mixed use zones currently for the city. And with that, that is all that I have in the presentation, but I am open to answering any questions or anything we want to discuss with the proposed document.
All right, thank you. Council, any questions for Ms. Willis?
How did you come up with the 15% for the open space for the regional plan?
So we did a lot of research and a lot of discussion with the planners on staff. 15 is pretty standard for what we were seeing with other regional other mixed use districts, but it's kind of just the standard is what we were seeing mostly.
I do have one question, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
So in the neighborhood mixed use, I see that a Starbucks couldn't be put in that use because the Starbucks has a drive-through. Why is the drive-through prohibited in neighborhood mixed use? I see that a 5,000 square foot commercial facility is able to be there. A sewage treatment plant is able to be there, but.
We changed that. Yeah, we totally changed that because we had the same discussion in one of our meetings. So did that not potentially get carried over?
Page 71?
Or
3 in the package. B, second line, last line on that page. Business and professional offices excluding drive-through facilities.
Yeah, that should be adjusted.
Okay.
Yes, thank you
Absolutely.
so much. We had a full conversation about Starbucks.
For like 35 minutes.
Yes.
And I specifically said that we need to make sure that we don't limit ourselves with that.
And obviously, it covers more than Starbucks.
Of course.
There's other small businesses like that that would like to have drive-throughs. And just, okay, cool, thank you.
Thank you for catching
Picking that.
Any other questions for Ms. Willis or Mr. Nord?
No,
Get a
looks
motion
good.
with your.
I'm gonna make
put with the change that you had?
I am gonna make a motion. Make a motion to approve with the change of the drive-through facility being crossed out.
Okay.
And set the second reading for
May 28th.
May 28th. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Can I please get clarification on this?
Sure.
So in your motion, you stated to have the business and professional offices with drive-through facilities crossed out.
The excluding drive-through facilities.
However, it's shown in here as a conditional use permitted. So is your thought on this to move it from conditional use to permitted use?
I would say yes.
I'm just making
that
clear that
sounds-
it's not prohibited in here, it's just currently shown under conditional use.
I would ask staff, do they have a problem with that? I mean, you see these more than we do. Do you have a problem with that being not conditional use and just being permitted? Do you feel the need to?
I don't have an issue with it, and I think that it would streamline the ability for something like a Starbucks to come to our community.
Okay, so I'm going to amend my motion, Mr. Vice Mayor. I'm going to.
Wait.
Make sure that he don't have another one. Did you have any?
Is there another?
The direction respectfully would be to direct staff to amend it as with your policy direction on that at all places in it and bring it back for second
That's
reading.
where I was going.
There you go.
Yes, ma'am. So my amended motion is going to be to approve with the
what about
recommendation to
71 that
remove
talks
the
about
conditional
any longer
approval of
is
drive-through
permitted?
facilities in the motion, in the document. Is that acceptable?
Is that not good? Then I amend my second to fit your motion.
Thank you.
All right, very good, as long as we're straight. All right, we got a motion and a second. Anyone from the public wish to speak on this matter? Anyone on Zoom?
No one has raised their hand at this time.
Any further discussion? Roll call, Ms. Williams.
Councilmember Dixon?
Yes.
Councilmember Nunn?
Yes.
Mayor McPartlin?
Yes.
And Vice Mayor Jones?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you. We accept item 10B, consideration of ordinance O-25-10, amending Land Development Code Articles 7, general regulations relating to home occupational licensing, also known as home-based businesses, and set date for second reading and public hearing on May 28th. Madam Attorney.
Thank you, sir. Ordinance number 02510, an ordinance of the City of Sebastian, Florida, amending the Land Development Code, Section 54-2-7.21, home occupational licenses to home-based business tax receipts to be in compliance with Florida statutes, providing for severability and repeal of laws in conflict herewith, providing for codification, scrivener's errors, and providing for an effective date. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Bernard, summary?
Good evening. So with this ordinance or proposed ordinance, it has come to our attention that what is currently in our land development code in regards to home-based businesses is not in compliance with Florida statute. So what is being proposed before you tonight will bring us into compliance with what is required by Florida statute. I'd be happy to answer any questions specific that you might have, but that is what you're seeing presented before you.
All right, thank you. Council, any questions for Ms. Bernard?
No, I think this
We
is,
just want to be in
I
compliance.
just move approval.
yeah.
And just state the fact that we have to do this to be in compliance with the state of Florida, what their laws are.
This is another great example of the state preempting the local governments and what they can regulate, and
Yep.
we have no option and no choice but to follow, so I will second that.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Anyone from the public wish to speak on this matter? Anyone on Zoom?
It has to say about.
No one has
second
raised their
reading.
hand.
So you may need to amend your motion.
Amend your motion. to
So you
second-
amend it to
May 28th.
May 28th?
Second that
Okay,
amended
second
motion.
that.
All right.
There you go, gentlemen.
Anyone from the public wish to speak on that change? Anyone on Zoom?
Oh, no.
No one has raised their hand.
All right. Roll call, Ms. Williams.
Councilmember Nunn?
Yes.
Mayor McPartlin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jones?
Yes.
And Councilmember Dixon?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. We accept item 10C, consideration of ordinance O-25-11, amending the map series in the 2040 comprehensive plan. Madam Attorney?
Thank you. Ordinance number 02511, or an ordinance of the City of Sebastian, Florida, amending the City of Sebastian Comprehensive Plan pursuant to Florida Statute, Section 163.3184, parens 3, providing for the adoption of the City of Sebastian Comprehensive Plan 2040 Map Series Update, authorizing findings and administrative actions, providing for transmittal, severability, repeal of ordinances in conflict herewith, scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Ms. Bernard?
Good evening. So what you have presented before you with this ordinance is to accurately depict our city limits, our city boundaries. So when this plan was originally adopted in 2021, we had not gone through the annexation of the Graves brothers at that point. And because it is such a large piece of land, to accurately depict and look to the future and to help guide the community as a whole, we thought it would be prudent to update the map series to make sure that we clearly depict our boundaries. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Council, any questions for Ms. Bernard?
No.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance O-25-11.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Anyone from the public wish to speak on this matter? Anyone on Zoom?
No one has raised their hand.
Any further council discussion? Roll call, Ms. Williams.
Councilmember Nunn?
Yes.
Mayor McPartlin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jones?
Yes.
And Councilmember Dixon?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Brings us up to item 10D, second reading and public hearing on ordinance O-25-03, petition for voluntary annexation, .9163 acre parcel, a portion of Industrial Park Boulevard, a private road north from 99th Street. Madam Attorney?
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 02503, an ordinance of the City of Sebastian, Florida, providing for the voluntary annexation for land consisting of 0.9163 acres more or less, known as Industrial Park Boulevard, a private road located north of 99th Street, west of Fisher Industrial Park and the FEC Railroad, and south of the former Vickers Grove sand mine, providing for the extension of the corporate limits and boundaries thereof, providing for the proposed land use and zoning classifications, scrivener's errors, conflicts, severability, and effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bosworth?
Good evening. This is the second reading for a request that you heard in January. It mostly is, or mainly is, a corrective measure. We have a current application that, as we were reviewing this, we discovered that back in 1987, half of the road legal description was not included in the ordinance. So in January, you had reviewed and kind of gone over the first request. We were hoping by this time, though, that we would have the land use and zoning hearings before the local planning agency and yourself. The developer has done some tweaks. We've been having some meetings and reviews. The project is definitely continuing. We are fairly certain that those land use and zoning hearings, rezoning hearings, will be before you this summer. So the project is continuing. We just felt, and we checked with the attorney, that we are okay going forward with this annexation without having the land use and the zoning of the road established at this time. That'll be shortly this summer. This was, like I say, more of a corrective measure, and annexing this is not disadvantageous to doing it now for the proposed applications that will be before you. Staff recommends approval of the annexation.
All right, thank you. Council, any questions for Ms. Bosworth?
No.
No, I would just like to move approval.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second. Anyone from the public wish to speak on this matter? Anyone on Zoom?
Not at this time.
Any further discussion? Roll call, Ms. Williams.
Mayor McPartlin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Jones?
Yes.
Councilmember Dixon?
Yes.
And Councilmember Nunn?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. We have no unfinished business, new business. Item 12A, request for approval of the issuance of purchase orders for asphalt paving systems in an amount not to exceed $832,286.63 for Phase 3 road repaving, and provide authority to the city manager or designee to execute. Mr. Benton or Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll get this one started, and then we can defer to Lee if we have any specific questions. So this item is coming before you all tonight. And if you all remember back when we started our budget workshop this past summer, last summer, we had a discussion in regards to how we show the roads that we're paving on an annual basis. And we had kind of previously been behind schedule on years. And so people were saying, well, my road was supposed to be paved in 22, 23, 24, 25, or 26 timeframes. We had a discussion to change that into phases so that whenever we're going through our budget process, and if we have to eliminate roads or we can add additional roads in a fiscal year, it's referred to as a phase instead of a year. So we had many of these roads were already encumbered in a fiscal year purchase order that we had allocated based on a yearly basis previously. However, once that direction and that change was made in the fall, we started closing out purchase orders based on years. So what we're bringing to you all tonight is Phase 3 road repaving and preservation work that encumbers a lot of fiscal year '23 roads. And so a lot of these were already approved in a purchase order. We closed the purchase order out. We're coming back now because I have to have approval to create a new purchase order for these roads. They're all budgeted. We're actually under budget. If you look at page 173, the expenses required are $832,286.63. That is substantially under our budgeted amount. We had some cost savings in regards to swell work, driveway culverts, and also the paving portion of this. So tonight we ask for your approval to issue this purchase order, and we'll continue to process our road paving and preservation work this year, and we will continue to get this complete by sometime in June, maybe early July.
Thank you. Council, any questions?
I do have a statement if I can, Mr. Mayor. So, you know, people talk about property taxes and what they pay and where their money goes. I want to talk about this specifically because it's related to roads. Of this 800 and, I don't have the exact number, $1,000 that's budgeted, 189,000 of that comes from local option gas tax. So every time somebody comes into our town, every time we fill up gas, that gas tax gets created, goes to Tallahassee, Tallahassee sends it back to us, and that's where we get that part of the money. The second half of that is $642,000, roughly, comes from discretionary sales tax. Every time you or a tourist or somebody goes to a hotel, a store, or something in this county, specifically North County, Sebastian area, that money goes into discretionary sales tax, and those are the two things that are help paving our roads. And I say that because people always say, well, you know, all these people that visit here should help pay for fixing our roads. They do. All those people that visit here, all those tourists, all those snowbirds that are out shopping in our town are helping pay to pave your road on your street, a road they may never use. I'd say that just so you know, it's not property tax money, that money you pay with your tax bill. This is actually money that's being paid by people spending money in our town. Thank you.
Get a motion with that?
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase order for asphalt paving systems for
Second.
Phase 3.
Second that.
All right. Got a motion and a second. Anyone from the public wish to speak on this matter? Anyone on Zoom?
No one has raised their hand.
All right.
You should be a teacher, Chris.
All right. I guess the one thing to keep in mind as well is paving of a road costs 40% more today than it did just 2 years ago.
True.
So the paving doesn't go as far as it once did, so that's it. So we got a motion and a second. Roll call, Ms. Williams.
Vice Mayor Jones?
Yes.
Councilmember Dixon?
Yes.
Councilmember Nunn?
Yes.
And Mayor Bank-Partland?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, just before we go any further, while I've got Lee right there, can I have him just give a quick update on Barber Street paving? Because that's going to be a major project that we're getting close to, just to notify the public when that's going to be taking place and get that out there. Lee.
Thank you.
Microphone.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, council members. Just to give an update on Barber Street. We'll be commencing Barber Street the first week of June. That'll be commencing first week of June, starting with the aprons of all the ancillary roads, and then the main road the second week of June, and that'll commence all the way until the first week of July. That'll finish up all of Phase 3 road repaving.
So,
What part of the road is that starting on? Not the whole Barber Street, but
So
where
it'll be
does it
starting
start?
from US 1
Yeah,
all the way to Acorn.
where the big curve is.
Correct.
Okay.
And it'll be done before school starts next year.
It'll be done the first week of July, Mayor.
All right.
So if I can ask a question, I know last year when we did Schuman, we did it in one of the hotter parts of the year and we had some issues at the stop sign. Do we predict any issues from the heat causing the pavement to be, you know, not as hard as it could be during that time?
No, and that's why we're doing it a little earlier this year.
Okay.
And then also, we've looked at the pavement method that we did last year on Schuman. There is some FDR work that's going to be transpiring on Barber Street, so more extensive. And then we've learned from that from last year. So there's more FDR work that's happening. And then the milling is that we're going to be watching how much we're milling off the road. And if we end up into the base some more, then we'll adjust as need be.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, but you need to describe what FDR means. Everybody don't understand that FDR.
Franklin Delano
So
Roosevelt.
full depth reclamation, so we'll be going
No,
down
I
10
know, because
inches,
they did it over where we are over
10
there.
inches into the base.
Right.
And we're creating an entire new base. It's a green process, so everything stays in place. So it's an emulsion mix with concrete, the existing base, and an emulsion with asphalt. They compact that, and then they come back and asphalt over it.
Awesome.
It's a heck of a process if you want to go see it. I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
They
It
showed
was
me,
definitely
right?
interesting, wasn't it?
Right, and make a road last longer, too.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Attorney, any matters for us tonight?
No, sir.
Mr. Benton, any matters?
I have nothing additional, sir.
All right, Ms. Williams.
I want to report that I have a new hire, Bridget Akins. She moved here from Massachusetts in 2002. Almost 10 years. She has almost 10 years of combined experience in crime scene management, evidence handling, and administrative leadership. Previously, she supported the Palm Bay Police Department as a crime scene and evidence supervisor. She has a love for public service and community involvement, and she's excited to be a part of the city. So I hope you guys get to meet her real soon.
Awesome, thank you. Ms. Dixon, anything?
No, not at this time.
Mr. Jones?
No, sir.
I have nothing. Mr. Nunn?
I want to say thank you to these teachers that are having things that the kids need to do, so they have to come see a government meeting and get an idea. I mean, yes, it's very awesome to have you all here and that you get a chance to see what your local government does. This is the most important government of all governments because these are the ones that affect your parents' wallets directly. So what we do is very important. Thank
And
you.
that has to do with their inheritance.
And your inheritance, yes.
All right. All right. Well, thank you. Being no other business, we're in adjournment.